Okay. Time for the next mission. Which one is it? It is prototype or eliminate the loose ends. There's probably gonna be a lot of combat in this one, so just reminder. Problem is I always need a decker now. Should I take out the shaman? Cause I'm a shaman, right? Like I don't need 2 shamans. Can't really change your teammates' loadouts, which is a problem. But here we go. Loose ends. Your client has hired you to tie up loose ends at the site of a botched cloak and dagger operation. One of the operatives from the failed mission has been captured by the knight-errant security forces, and it's only a matter of time before he talks. Your job is simple. Kick in the door, find the operative, and put a bullet in his guts before he can spill them. Here we go. There you go. She can't use this? Oh, she needs a data check. She needs the deck. The reception area of the Shering Pharma AG lab looks normal enough. The synth leather couches are obviously designed more for appearance than for comfort, and the blue steel walls are gently illuminated with energy-efficient recessed lighting. All in all, it's a perfect example of typical corporate design sensibilities. Bland, generic, and safe. An overturned house plan is the only sign that something might be amiss in the lab up ahead. You ready for this, fearless leader? According to what Herr Fuchs told us, this entire complex is going to be crawling with higher security. I'm guessing knight-errant, but we'll see. It's going to be a hell of a fight. We can handle it. We can get rid of people. We started combat? Damn. Alright, well. Oh, I goofed. Security camera. Oh, okay. What? Glory. Oh, just got a lot of options. Yeah, let's just go hide over here. Yep. Shotgun time, probably. Yep. Can't haste Tiger? Or whatever. Acid Bolt. Okay, he's gonna get acid in next turn, so I'm gonna just... Oh, he only has one because he's controlling the... 85% there. Oh, the acid didn't kill him. Interesting. Everyone else is coming out? Alright. Myself is the most one. Which way do we go? Security cam over there. Send the drone out. Since the drone is invincible, they'll respawn if it dies. Oh, here we go. Go, Iger. You get to 3 times. Damn, heavy cover is strong. How do I get him out of it? Oh, does melee get him out of it? Ah. Oh, we're all clustered together. This is grenade? Ooh, my drone. Yeah, here comes a grenade. This is gonna be big value. Alright, it's not that big. It's just AP, that's fine. More accurate? Oh no, it's the same. You can just hit adjacent targets. Try just pistol. Nah, slash is. Double slash. Oh, okay, we're just throwing more stun grenades. It's fine. They both flat down. Alright. I can't heal the robot, so. Yeah. Should just reload our weapons, probably. Which way do we go? Well, they came in from this side, right? So I guess we'll just. Damn, which way do I go? Okay. Let's just take a turn to reload all our shit. Load. Can I? Oh, well. Everyone gets accuracy up. Let's see. Drone repair, right? Open up. Oh, damn. They got. Okay. They got people. Paste up. One. Control. There you go. Drone online, 2 moves. Shock, that might be useful. Well, actually, we should get the mage, shouldn't we? How did it miss? Shit, grenade's gonna be really good against us. Buff his guys, that's fine. As long as they don't use grenades, I think we're okay. Wow, he's a really good shot. Oh, here it comes. It's fine, I think. I did not get Far Cry 5. I see a lot of people playing it though. I think this game will last me long enough for Yakuza 6 to come out. That's fine. I was thinking about getting Nino Kuni too, but if that price drops to like 40 or something after I finish Yakuza, I might get that. I really like clumping up my guys. That makes grenades really good against me. I don't like that. Well, Iger's still got 2 shots. Does she have a grenade? Oh, she does. Hell yeah. It's not gonna work. No. It's too far. Does that buff everybody? Yes, it does. Oh wait, hold on. I got summon a spirit? Or no? Yes, it is. Oh no, you need 3. You gotta go for it. Maybe sniper rifle might be better? 72%, let's go. The drone's still. Damn. Sadly, I don't have the explosion that, what's his name does. Should probably get in the cover. Oh, my robot! My poor robot. Just gonna walk around? Alright. Everyone should be within. Oh no. I don't have my accuracy buff. There you go. Sniping time? Ignores armor completely. That's really good against him. Here we go. And it missed. Ended. Alright, let's 80%. Damn, this guy's really not good at being covered. Here you go. Incendiary round pierces up to 2. Oh, why'd I do that? I'm an idiot. Can't no takebacks in this game. I tase him. My robot might get exploded. This is not. There we go. This is accuracy 99%. Here you go. 14. Oh, oops. Wow, I hit my own guy. 90% chance to miss. Can a drone even take cover? I don't know, it's floating. I frankly don't know. Oh, he called for backup. Called for backup. Here they come. I should be okay still. I think. Reload. Might have to haste Iger up again. Yep. There you go. Snip, snip. Say hello to Mr. Snip, snip. Shit, it was 27 exploded. Alright. guy's dodge so good. I guess he's the captain. Oh shit. Once again, man. Let's spray him first. Man, he's like out in the open, man. Can you really not? Oh, shit's okay. Here's one. Ow. I might just go for a slash. Strips 2 armor. I guess I'll do it. Nope, gets it this way. Oh no, there's it's fun, probably. Should I just summon a spirit? I'm really worried about like having to summon a spirit and go, oh wait, he turned on me. That's not I think I don't know, Nicolio, did you get Far Cry 5? I did see a lot of people. I heard it's good, but I don't really. Not into that genre. I cure myself. Yeah, I think I'll just take the pistol. Can I take it? Yeah, this turn is free. Oh no! He had so many actions. Actually managed to get away. Nope, the haste is still turn away. Site blocked. Or you might have a chance. Over here. Line of sight block there. Here. Shoddy? Nope, line of sight still. Overwatch. What's this? Reload. Have to reload? Actually, don't. Here we go. Time this berserker. Oh, I guess the drone has to reload. Shotgun from the back. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, we can explore this place now. What the hell is over here? Body on the table looks like a janitor. His stomach and chest appear to have been brutally torn open. Okay, I'm assuming that's not the security guy that did that. Is the team we've been sent to retrieve it? Yes. Oh wait, we got some loot. Take that. Stash. No, can't go through the store. So we have to go north. Can we go through here? No, we have to go north. Never mind. enemies? Holy shit, what the hell happened here? Grizzly scene. The body on his operating table has been torn to pieces. The dual arms of an auto searcher are the obvious culprits. Oh, surprise. Shit. Grenades will be very useful right here. Tiger's got grenades, right? Oh, it takes 2 actions. I'm just gonna have to... Better to take a shot, or is it better? Looks like I take a... Wow, it was like 99% chance that I could switch this. Go in there and die. Oh no, we got killed. Oh, those drones are mad fragile. Okay. He's taking out drones better than nothing. Oh shit, I found her. Ugh. You're missing though. It's fine. Wait, what? Do we have an ally back there? Oh no, he he summoned a monster immediately turned on him. Hell yeah. Actually no, I want Iger. Get action. Go shoot. Sniper. SMG from a room away, completely naked. Some of this flushes like fun. Himself? Yes, he can. Yo, damn. The drone, we've created self-repairing robots. The end is nigh, my friends. Yes. Why does he want to keep me away from the... Why does he want to keep me away from the... Oh, actually, I should send my dick. To get those turret controls. Who the hell is shooting? Oh, that's why. Okay. Kill your master? There's MT3 barely. There's MT3 shots and finish him off. Okay. The wound set. Iker's never gonna get to use her grenade ever. Because it takes 2 AP. Like, it's just not worth it ever. Oh shit, who gets it? Okay, I'm assuming no people over here are friendly to them or something, because they're not shooting at them, so... 75% shots. This is both. Scratch. Oh, I should have said no first because it flushed him out of cover. She has all the medkits, so... Go scratch. We're still not done. Glory, you get to do. Probably more enemies on there. Alright, let me see if I can reach this turret control. Hack it? Yeah. Here we go. Take control of the turrets. Oh, okay, they were turrets. Okay, we can't get behind there either. Alright. Guess off we go to the next floor. Oh shoot, there's more! Uh-oh. Big mistakes were made. Big freaking mistakes. Tiger's here, short, point blank range, with a shotgun. It's gonna be okay. Three shots? Slash this first. He's at a cover house, so I guess. Dead. Zapsang? A little bit of Zapsang. Oh, perfectly done. I guess I should have known, because when you didn't exit from combat, you should know there's more fights. It's like Parasite Eve 2, if people have ever played that, where the music doesn't stop or whatever. If the body of the monster doesn't despawn, it revives, basically. I think that was Parasite Eve too. How the corpses and the bodies are all dressed in high quality ballistic armor. Too late, they're here. Fast response team in, but hold until the reinforcements arrive. I'm assuming that dwarf is the guy working on the center after. Damn, look, conveniently, he's a very low HP also. Tiger. Always haste Tiger. Drone chain. I don't know, Glory is mostly a medic on my team. Her super short range stuff doesn't come up. Except for flushing blood, I guess. Overwatch? Oh, way inaccurate with that. Thank God. Yeah, Overwatch did stuff. Oh God, no. Let it go, reserve. Oh my God, that hurts. That hurts so much. Okay, I gotta kill myself. Okay, Iger, do a grenade. Did good damage. Does minus 1. Alright, I really gotta get it. But without the summoner, the guy goes berserk, right? So I don't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, he just goes away. Alright, no problem. He means no words. Holy shit, stop hitting my leader! My fearless leader needs to... Mr. Snip Snip. Steady shot. Got one shot. He's a captain. Oh, here comes. Wow, there's 4 of them. Why these guys with so many reinforcements? Kill the entire security team. Alright, Iger. Keep going. Keep staying. Ignores armor completely, right? Where's armor? Yeah, armor made damage. I don't want to. All in color. Focus on the grenade. spread out so grenades don't wreck us as hard. Wait, what? They don't get to move? Sniping continues. Let's go. 90. No need to worry about grenades anymore. Let's get that mage. Oh shit, I hit my own drone. Sorry. 70% minus. God, that hurts so much. It did 17 damage. Oh, my drone's about to go. We should kill this. Well, the acids will kill him. Oh god, my leader, my fearless leader. I can use my last freaking kill. Yeah, the NPC make kits are free. You don't have to. You only buy supplies from them, which is nice. Gotta flush them out. No, my drone! He has so much to live for. We hardly need him. It's okay. Drone chain 2. Shotgun? Better? Shotgun. Alright, forget it. Glory goes with me. Well, we knocked him out of cover. Oh, finally, he gave up on taking cover. He really did too. Go. We're fine. Here you go. Just go and swim. Oh shoot, I almost hit him. It's only 1 damage. We done? We done! Alright. Oh, for From the description that your client gave you, this must be your target, the rigger, Thorvald Enstad. You can see him waving and pounding on the plastic of his cell door, and from where you're standing, the scene is eerily silent. It looks like he had a rough go of things. One of his eyes has been blackened and his lower lip is split wide open. Not particularly surprising, given the temperament of his captors. The only incongruous element is his outfit. He's decked out head to toe in patched black riding leathers. A pair of oversized, studded combat boots shine in the halogen glare of the cell's lighting panels. From his style of dress, it's obvious that this dwarf is not a corporate employee. He's a Shadowrunner. Iger sighs. I always hate having to kill one of our own. Still, the job's the job. Yes, it is. All the same. It feels like we're on the wrong side of this one. She shrugs. Not our call. Not anymore. We took the run. We have to follow them. Alright. The door slides open. The stench of stale sweat assaults your nostrils. Enstad steps forward, his bloody lips curling to a smile. The soles of his boots squeak on the polished tile floor. Free at last. Thank Christ. Didn't think I wanted to rescue. Whoever sent you, thank him for me. Say goodnight. Yo. Oh, damn. Well. Enstad's lifeless body lies crumpled on the floor. His mouth is frozen open in a silent scream. Whoa, that was cold, Chief. At the very least, you could have talked to the guy. He was a Shadowrunner. One of us. For once, Skirmer and I are in complete agreement. She nods at you. We all knew what we were here to do. Good on you for stepping up and doing it. Damn, Iger agrees with murder. She approves. Just straight. Exit the building. Well, a lot of the damage was done before we got here, so it's not the worst. The leader of the group is an elf with Asian features. He's obviously a bat job. Bands of color cord and muscle that bulge out under his arms have a distinctly store-bought look to them. When he speaks, his voice comes down in gravelly rumble. My, the intrepid Skirm, with no rigor in sight. I must admit, I am surprised. Yeah? Well, that makes two of us. Who the hell are you? Herr Fuchs sent us to check up on you. Given his recent trouble with Shadowrunners, this should not come as a surprise. Company man smiles and nods slightly. I shall return to him and report your task completed to my satisfaction. Good day. I mean, if you had this guy on the payroll, why don't you just attempt to do the job? You know what? Let me see if I missed something or something. No, I probably can't. You had like guys to do it for you. Why didn't you just turn to Cruise Bowser? Alright, in transit. Your subway car is empty on the return trip to the Cruise Bowser. This stretch of the sprawling U-Bahn tunnel system doesn't see much use, it seems. At least not at this hour. As the train rattles on, you find yourself lost in thought. Old memories creep, unbidden, to the forefront of your mind. Memories of Monica in the old days, and the crew you used to run with. Memories of success and failure, of wealth and poverty, of good times and bad. Halfway back to the Cruise Bowser, you are jolted out of your reverie by a buzzing sound. You're comlink. You're receiving a call. Whoa, what's going on here? Something happens on the way back. Your comlink buzzes. A quick glance at the screen tells you Amsel's on the line. You pick up and his voice fills your ear. Skirmer, I trust I'm catching you at a good time? It's a good time as any. What's up? I have made contact with another prospective client. A rather elusive woman of Estlander descent. She calls her Frau Muller. She will not say, not to me at any rate. She has insisted she will speak only with you. She wants to meet with you in half an hour's time at the location of your choosing. 36,000 new yen. Quite an impressive sum, sir. I would not have bothered you with this. Alright, let's go. Yo, I have no choice to say no. Where would you like to meet? Where would I be? Statue in the park, I guess. Oh, you're calmly custom standing. A moment later, the lights in the U-Bahn car flicker and wink out. You hear the screeching sound of steel on steel, and the train grinds to a halt. Yo, so we'll attack the train? We have a train mission? Well, you don't get to... Whoa, what the hell? Where the hell is this? The whole station's lost power. Well, it's a good thing we weren't stuck in the tunnel. Squatters in the station. Fuse box. This old fuse that isn't bad from the track. Well, obviously we would prefer the track, right? Okay, I have the fuse for track. Maybe we have to lower the bridge first. Bridge controls. The power of the entire thing is not functional. Okay, what do we have to do? Let's see what happens here. Maybe exchange the bridge. I don't know. Does that give power to the bridge? No, it's not. What can I do? No. I'm fine. Wait, hold on. There's... Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. We're good. Something is... Is that the bridge? There we go. What the hell is this? Oh, what is going on? Should I flush the door? Door pops open. What's in here? Can't see shit, Captain. Aries High Explosive 30. Reset breaker box. There's gonna be a monster in the moment I reset the lights. Oh, yep, surprise. It's them. Open fire. Who the hell planned this so that my train would stop at this exact moment and then like just ambush us right where we're sitting? 97%. Yo, my robot somehow regenerated between the end of my last mission and me getting here. Well, this is an easy one, right? Because this is like a story mission. Here. Everyone's attacked. Shot it. There must be more enemies. Encrypted PDA. Well, there's gotta be more enemies, right? Because we would be out of combat if there weren't. Let's get out of here slowly, I guess. Yep. Yeah, there's 3 more. Oh god, that's super effective. Get another for turn. Yo, you gonna walk right there? Oh god. That's pretty good. Are there more enemies out there? Oh, 24 damage. Okay. Thank you. And this thing is smart, like, we should have better than normal accuracy. Taser. Electric weapon. Oh. Combat over? Yeah, that's how you know it's safe. Well, we should probably put the bridge up before we and we're out of here. I don't know what purpose that served. Well, I guess you just know people are after you. Let's see. The rest of the trip home is uneventful, but one thing is clear. Someone is hunting you. The ambush was no chance gang warfare, but an organized attempt on your life. If Green Winters was right, then whoever killed him is now after you. The PDA that you retrieved from your attackers may hold some answers. It's time to return to your safe house and consult Paul Amsel. It's also the it's also the first story mission I've done in a while, so people probably you can talk to the people for story updates, I guess. What do we got here? Alright, housing. Same thing? No, it's the same thing. Accepting donations. The work program has been a rousing success. At this point, we have only one more goal in mind to round out the year. I have been in negotiations with Air Baragazi to lease another building in the cruise bazaar. The construction is much more modern and sturdy than our old shelter. Our people will be would be better protected there. In addition, the extra floor space will open up a host of new options for our organization. One other thing, Skirmer, if we reach this goal, I would like to name the building after you. You are, after all, our primary benefactor. With 500 new yen, we can make the purchase. Dude, he's asking for like pennies. A freaking gun costs like 1,500 new yen in this world. You need 500 to lease a building? Like, I don't know. It's incredibly generous. It's not that generous, man. I don't know what to say, Skirmer. With this donation, we reached our final goal. I will speak with Baragazi immediately and provide him his down payment. The Skirmer Civic Center will stand as a monument to your generosity and care. Alright, that's nice. That's it. I wonder if this does anything for you later. Let's talk about Lane. What's up with Lane? Oh, Lane looks to have mostly recovered from whatever happened the other day. A few butterfly stitches keep closed the lacerations to his face, and his damage to prosthetics looks to be functioning normal once again. Hear more about your part in the Euro Wars. Lane sighs, his weight settling on his creaking legs. Problem with a tight-knit community like the Cruise Bazaar is you can't escape who you are. Fine, you want to hear it? I'll tell. The old Trone leans heavy on his crutch and takes a steadying breath. I was a colonel in the Finnish army. During the First Euro War, the Jaeger Brigade was mine. For decades, we used ATVs. Nassus and bandwagons, mostly. Slow, lumbering things, but built for the snows of the Lapland. I was the one who changed all that, moving us over to T-birds. I made us fast and nimble. The Russians were still slow, and though they had us outnumbered and outgunned, we could run circles around. I'm not sure when, and I'm not sure who, but the comparison was made to Rommel. Arctic Fox followed soon thereafter. For people who don't know, Rommel was a general in World War II for the Nazis. His nickname was the Desert Fox. There's a guy in Gundam Seed who's named after him also, but I don't celebrate the title. Far too many young soldiers died under the command of the Arctic Fox. That is why some asked me to fight. That is why I refuse. Alright, what happened the other day? The old soldier glowers, but given his physical handicaps and his recent injuries, he hardly makes for an intimidating figure, troll size notwithstanding. Hang my hoop. I'm not a child, man. I'm not helpless. And even if I was, leave me to whatever fate I earned. Who was it? Someone who heard an unfounded rumor. A rumor about me joining up with ORC. Presumed favorite polyclub among us trolls. Maybe he was Humanus, or maybe just another flux fanatic who thought the balance of power would be upset by me joining up with ORC. I don't know and I don't care. I just want to be left alone. Whatever. You want to dissuade me from lending my voice or experience to any pro-metahuman parties. Try to talk him down. Tried explaining my fighting days are done, but he wouldn't believe me. Bastard made a liar of me when I beat him with my crutch. Will he be back? Okay, well, I guess we'll leave it at that. See what's up with our favorite movie addict. Well, the girl stares blankly into a vacant sky. She's sporting a black eye and there are fresh tears on her cheeks, but she doesn't seem to notice. I've been thinking, remember, wonder. Oh, here it is. Thought the Sims might help. In there I'm strong and I never have to lose anyone. Then I come back out here, where children play in the street and I remember. Or I see Dr. Esquivel, and I remember. He was mad at me for losing her, but now I don't know if he even remembers. He looks right through me. But I did what he told me. So he was, I saw him every month, I took the medicine, I got as much food as I could. But he said it wasn't enough, that I would never be. Monica says a mother is always a mother, even when her baby dies inside. Oh, so did she have a kid with Esquivel? She would go to heaven. Okay. We'll talk about the black guy now. Let's exit. Zach is hurting you. No, it wasn't him. Zach loves me. Zach, he loves everybody. Oh, they used to work together. Huh. He wants to be the new Zach. He said to tell Zach that he was coming back to take what was his. And Monica kept him out. It was for a good reason. Let's talk to Zach, see what's up with him. Oh hey, our guy's leveled up. What do we got here? Sharpshooter? Looks like a better sniper rifle. What does this do? Oh. I'd rather have the sniper rifle, thank you. Electro core is increased. Being able to do electro core and something else is pretty strong. Like, the worst thing about the grenade is it takes your whole turn, right? Adrenal pump. Ooh, that's pretty strong. I've actually never used her adrenal pump, so I don't even know what that does. I don't plan on my guys going down all the time, but could be useful. Well, let me look at it, what that does. Oh, so it's a better deck. Upgrade attack. Let's see what adrenal pump is. Well, I already know. That's fine. I don't plan on going down all that much, so that's fine. See what's up with Zach. Fish. Special. Oh, no, alright. I still need 3 biotech to do it. I don't think I'm ever going to reach that. Biotech increases, let's see. Do I have enough? I could do it, but is it worth it is the question. Right, what's biotech is... What does that do? Oh, it just gives you hit points equal to the... It ups the amount of hit points you heal with medkits. I don't think that's worth it, frankly. Fire back. And if I have some points at the end of the game to throw away, I guess I'll use that on him. See what's up with Dr. Ez. Xavier. Any cyberware updates? Man, these are expensive. I have enough to use one more essence, basically 0.5. Ortho skin. Problem, most of these are body. I might take the leg ones, enhanced circulation. Make you move faster and give you higher dodge. Right. Talk to Lucky Strike. I wonder if she has a quest for me at the end. Probably not. Lucky Strike. Oh, okay, fine, nothing here. I agreed to meet with that lady in the bench, right? So it should be here, shouldn't it? Or do I have to talk to Paul first? I probably have to talk to Paul first. Who else is around here that we have to talk to? Oh, let's just talk to our team members then. Maybe Baragazi. We'll figure that stuff out afterwards. Talk to Blitz. Oh. One look at Blitz's face is enough to tell you that something is gnawing at him. He stands beside his table, playing with a coffee spoon. Boy, Skirmer, what you need? What's going on? Well, Chief, I hate to admit it, but I might be in a little bit of trouble here. Go on. There's an awkward pause, and Blitz plows on ahead. You remember those creditors I told you about? The one who loaned me all that money? Yes? Yeah, well, as it turns out, some of them are a little less forgiving than I thought they were. Keep talking. Well, one in particular seems to have taken things kind of personally. How personal are we talking here? I got a package in the mail. It had somebody's thumbs in it. Thumbs? Yeah, thumbs. They came in a cigar box, packed in salt. I have no idea who they belong to. I'm pretty sure they meant to convey some sort of message. I think that's a city. Pretty safe. Is that a reference? There's a Sherlock Holmes story about someone sending a woman ears packed in salt in a cigar box. I don't want to lose my thumbs, Chief. I like my thumbs. I think I need to pay this guy back. Luckily, I got a plan. I know how to get myself out of hot water with meat grinder. I've got it all specced out. Let me get this straight. You took a loan from someone named Meat Grinder? Hey, Chief, come on. I feel bad enough about this already. Just no need to rub it in. Anyway, like I was saying, I can make it all right again. But I'll need your help to do it. Sure. Well, there's this group out in Dragonfall. They call themselves the Landenberg Ring. They're a financial crime organization, and there's a lot of bad blood between them and Meat Grinder's operation. Anyway, back when I was running the Schwarzhausen, I laid out the groundwork for a hit on the Landenberg Ring. I was never able to make good on it, though. For some reason, none of the other gangers ever volunteered to help me out. With your help, I could steal enough money from them to cover my debt, and get myself back into Meat Grinder's good graces in the process. So what do you think? A quick run, just you and me. With me in the Matrix and you as my man on the ground. We hit him, satisfy my debt, and laugh about it on our way home again. Sound like a plan? Alright, Bliss, but in the future you need to be more upfront about me with things like this. Meet with you on, alright. Oh, no, not as such, Chief. I won't be physically going to Dragonfall. I've seen enough of that place for one lifetime. I'll be jacking in from a terminal that I set up here in the cruise boat. So he's not even gonna be physically in danger. He's just like, alright, man, you're gonna go off by yourself. Great, okay, well. Man, that's... Alright, so if things go wrong, I get killed and he gets to walk it off, that's messed up. Oh, Dante, what's up? Here we go. Hey, boss, you need something? Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's gonna take some time. Have you ever heard of an organization called the Lodge? Lodge? He freezes up. Boss? Do you mean the Black Lodge? I don't know. Maybe. Lodge was all I heard. Let me describe them to you, and you can tell me if what I'm saying fits. Shadowy, powerful, secretive as hell, with deep pockets and a penchant for hiding the truth. They conduct all of their business through dupes and go-betweens. Gives you a sideways glance. That sounds about right? That's them in a nutshell, yeah. Well, if it's them, and whoever you're talking about, I ain't saying it is, then I advise you to stay away from them. Stay far, far away. And whatever you do, don't take their money. If you do, they'll own you. I take it they're dangerous then? Besides, more than you know. Most folks don't even believe they exist, but being a shaman in Berlin has its perks. I've seen enough evidence to believe. Tell me what you've heard about them. Well, the story is that the Black Lodge is the mother of all conspiracies. Supposedly, they've been around for hundreds of years, and they've been practicing magic since well before the Awakening. Impossible, I know, but I believe it. You ever heard of the Masons, the Knight Templars, the Bavarian Illuminati? They were all puppets of the Black Lodge. None of them knew who they were working for, but the Lodge was there, pulling the strings. They always have been, and they still are today. That's the story. Let's see. That gives me a lot to think about. I was thinking about what you told me earlier. Oh, actually, no. Let me see the last one. Hell of a thing, wasn't it? That run made me glad I don't have to spend a lot of time in hospitals, I'll tell you that. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. Kind of a pity, putting that rigor on ice like that. Least we could have done was hear him out. I get that the job is the job, but if our client really did screw him over, he deserved better than to get buried for it. I guess we'll never know. I was thinking about what you told me earlier. You said your idol was going to make you pick a fight that you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually. Probably sooner rather than later. Isn't there something you can do to stop that from happening? Well, I suppose I could refuse. But that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Especially not now. Remember, boss, the Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. If I turn away from him, you better believe he'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't even know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me so long, I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't you worry about me, boss. I've known that this was coming for my entire life. And when it happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory, the likes of which you can't even imagine. That's a promise. Can't really believe that your idol wants you to commit suicide. Of course not. The Dragon Slayer doesn't want me to die. But he does want me to kill dragons. That ain't supposed to be safe or easy. It isn't my idol's fault that I'm getting too old to keep up with his wishes. What if you were to pick up a fight with a different kind of dragon? Say, maybe a gang or a corporation? He pauses for a moment. That's an interesting idea. If it were big enough and heinous enough, he might be satisfied. I've never tried to bargain or negotiate with the Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And I don't know how he'd take it either. The Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned. And his temper is even shorter than mine. But I'll tell you what, boss, I'll think of it. No, I'm gonna go talk to him. Actually, let's see what Blitz thought about that previous mission. Oh, god damn it. Any thoughts about that last run? She shrugs. It was a nice change of pace. A simple job with a straightforward objective. At the end of the day, the whole thing was pretty by the numbers. The rigger died, we got paid, and everybody went home happy. That's a win in my book. You trust me? Damn. I haven't always agreed with your decision, Skirmer, but you've proven your confidence. It's only fair for me to acknowledge it. Tell me what happened to your team. This again, why do you even care? Because it's pretty clear if you had your way, you'd still be with him. And a good leader places a priority on knowing his team. She slowly nods. Alright, I'll tell you. I suppose that you deserve to know. What happened to us was Hoffman. He was a rookie. A kid of some big money corporate exec. He looked good on paper, and he made it through KSK training, so he was technically qualified to join the team. But he was way too green to fit in with ours. Still, he wanted to be a hero, and his family had enough clout to get him assignment of his choosing. I don't know how many strings Hoffman's daddy had to pull to get him assigned to our team. But he pulled them. Hoffman became our 9th squad mate, despite Metzger's objections. Anyway, flash forward a few weeks. We were closing in on one of the Russian mob's major trafficking operations. They had been using a series of warehouses 50 miles from the border as a staging area for their convoys. Women and girls from Eastern Europe were being housed there. When the convoys came, they'd be crammed into cargo containers and hauled across the border into Germany. Go to any brothel along the border and have a look around. Chances are, you'll find at least a few girls who spent some time in those warehouses. Slovakians, Hungarians, Poles, you name it. The mob has been smuggling them for decades. But we were in a position to derail the operation, and we weren't going to let our new addition slow us down. We hit them by surprise, and we hit them hard. Fisher and Braun managed to take down the Banshee that they had patrolling the site. Wolf had reconnaissance drones overhead providing battle tech feeds to the rest of us, and we picked off their gunmen one by one. They had numbers on us, but they didn't know where to hit us. We had eyes in the sky, and we had cover and concealment. Every time they thought they had a fix on us, we'd shift positions and hit them again. They might as well have been fighting ghosts. Then Hoffman broke cover and gave away our position. And after that, all hell broke loose. Wolf went down first. The sound of it will haunt me for the rest of my days. An explosion, a choke scream, and then this long, drawn-out gurgling sound. When he died, his drones went down with him, and there were too many hostiles to track without them. I'll spare you the glory details, Skirmer. Suffice to say that my team was wiped out. Iger's face clouds again. You can see the tears beginning to well in her eyes. I watched Metzger die. With a visible effort, she clamps down on her emotions and calms herself. When she speaks again, her voice is flat. I took 3 rounds myself. Had to drag myself across the Oder-Nace line into Germany. I almost died. So that's the story. My KSK career died with the rest of the team. Our mission was illegal, after all. Off the books. There was no going back for me, so I wound up here. She looks you in the eye. Did that tell you everything you wanted to know, fearless leader? Are you satisfied now? So tell me, what's your takeaway from my tale of woe? I figure you've got to have one. You hung up on the past, Iger. If you want to survive in the shadows, you'll need to get over it. She pauses to consider. Interesting. And probably fair, at least in part. Because you don't need to worry about my continued survival. I'll get along just fine. In the shadows or anywhere else. You might be thinking that I judged you too harshly in the beginning because of Hoffman. You'd be right on that count. I probably did. But everything else that I said after Monica died was justified, whether you want to believe it or not. Giving you command of this team was a hasty decision, made for the wrong reasons. I stand by that assessment. But between then and now, I've been watching you like a hawk, and you've grown, Skirmer. We've only been like 5 runs, it's not that bad. You weren't the right choice to leave before. I still believe that, but you are now. Aw, get her approval. That's nice. Let's see what's up with her. Any thoughts about that last run? There isn't much to say. I think we should have given Thorvald a chance to prove his claims. Waiting a few minutes to kill him wouldn't have harmed anything. That said, I understand why you did what you did. Their job was to kill him, and we all knew that when we signed on. She shrugs. We're one step closer to paying Alice's fee. In the end, that's all that really matters. How about that chrome? I'm not sure you're gonna like it though. You needed time, and I gave you time. Are you ready to talk about first? Yes. Yeah. Gloria looks troubled, more so than you've seen her before. Whatever her memory she's dredging up must be exceedingly painful. Not gonna lie, I haven't been looking forward to this, but yeah, it's time. Look, I'm about to tell you some things about myself that might change your opinion of me. It's entirely possible that you're gonna hate me based on what's coming up next. I've accepted that, and if that's what's coming, I sincerely believe that I deserve it. She looks you in the eye. So tell me, are you sure you want to keep pushing forward with me? With this? It's important for you. After everything we've been through, I think we both know that. Whatever you have to tell me, I'm ready to listen. So when we left off last time, I had just moved to the streets of Tubing and to the warm, inviting confines of Ferrisdale. Martha and I were happy for a little while, and Harrow embraced me as a long-lost daughter. I should probably take a moment to talk more about Harrow. He's going to be an important figure in this story. I don't know what his age was. He seemed old enough to be paternal, but young enough to hang out with kids on something like a peer level. Best guess, I'd say he was in his mid-20s. He was handsome and well-built, with a neatly trimmed beard and thick brown hair. And there was something else about him, something uncanny. Harrow had this charisma, this raw, magnetic attraction that made people latch onto him. I saw it over and over. All it took was a few words and a pat on the shoulder, and Harrow would have a new convert. The other kids at the farm followed him around like lost puppies. As much as I loved Martha, and as much as I thought she loved me, we forgot all about one another when Harrow was around. All that we wanted was to be close to him, to be part of his inner circle, and soon enough we were. For a girl of 17, it was all terribly exciting. Harrow had these rules of living that he would teach us, rules about self-determination and the importance of disobedience. He claimed to have taught classes at the University of Berlin, which he painted as a mix between an earthly paradise and an anarchist playground. He told us how Ferrisdale would be the focal point of a new movement for the children of the fatherland. He told us we were special. We ate it up, of course. We were kids. For those of us in the inner sanctum, Harrow would share even more. He had power the likes of which I had never seen. Not my father's drunken fists or my own childish experiments, but genuine, incredible power. He said it came from the Horned God, an ancient deity that he venerated. He knew about my latent talents right away, and he offered to teach me. Naturally, I accepted. I've heard of the Horned God. His followers have a poor reputation, especially among women. Any bad reputation that they might have gained is well deserved. But there was more to it than that, as you'll see. Hang with me, Skirmer. Rough waters ahead. So I became Harrow's apprentice. He taught me to channel magic and summon spirits. He taught me rituals and pagan traditions, Machiavellian philosophy, and Nietzschean ethics. Above all, he taught me to connect with his Horned God, and through it I learned power and arrogance. And it was all downhill from there. For the next few years, I lived at Ferrisdale as Harrow's enforcer and right-hand girl. I was also his sometimes wife and concubine, but that was a distinction that I shared with all the girls in the commune, including my beloved Martha. I came to learn that she'd been his long before she met me. But by that point I didn't care. I'd embraced the rules of living. I was Harrow's creature through and through. I didn't ask questions, and I walked the path that was in front of me. Other fun facts about those years, I learned cruelty. I had power now, and my new idol encouraged me to use it. Harrow did the same. Any children who didn't pull their weight were subjected to my tender mercies, and I was anything but tender. I took what I wanted rather than asking for it. I liked it. It was fun. I also came to learn Harrow's Horned God was not the Eichen first, worshipped by throwback cults across Germany. It was certainly a god of horns, but it came from an altogether different tradition. Care to hazard a guess? The devil? In the magically active community, we refer to it as the adversary. But yeah, same being, more or less. So my idol, the ancient deity that was feeding me my power, was the antithesis of everything that is right and good. And you know what? I didn't care. In our time together, Harrow and I committed more atrocities than I can count. At this point, I was onto all his tricks. I knew that first that was nothing more than a honey trap, carefully designed to lure local children into my master's clutches. I knew that the kids who seemed resistant to Harrow's brainwashing techniques wound up fertilizing the garden. I knew that Harrow's entire manifesto was bullshit. And I knew that through it all, Harrow and the adversary were laughing, because I was laughing right there beside them. I didn't want to pin the blame for my decisions on anyone but me. That said, I would like to posit that my father's connection to the cruise raiders might have helped play into my willingness to serve the adversary. In my warped, indoctrinated little brain, I equated the church with evil, so the opposite of that, I figured, had to be, well, if not good, then at least not totally bad. But I was kidding myself, of course. My new deity was the very definition of bad. Serving it made me bad. End of story. Can't excuse the choices you made, but I can understand why you made. Anyway, one day Harrow invited me on a field trip to Stuttgart. Over the years that I was at Furstell, the commune had easily doubled in size. It was thriving, all thanks to the efforts of Marta and the girls like her. Harrow would send the girls out to neighboring cities to lure in the street kids that nobody would miss. He targeted children because they were easy to indoctrinate, and because nothing makes the adversary happier than the corruption of the innocent. As we drove out to pick up the new recruits, I was already planning ahead. It was a foregone conclusion that I would pay my father a visit. The irony of a group of cruise raiders getting immolated by a genuine servant of the actual devil tickled me to no end. So when Harrow stopped to fill up on diesel, I hopped out of the van and headed out on foot to my parents' place. Harrow wasn't overly concerned about my absence. I had long since reached a point where I could assert my autonomy, and he knew I'd be back. I wound up at my folks' house sometime around noon. I could hear the adversary whispering in my ear, telling me what to do. I had long since learned to listen to its voice. It always rewarded me with extra power when I did its bidding. It told me to knock, so I did. As the door opened, I could feel a torrent of flames welling up in the astral plane all around me. It told me to channel them to the doorway, and to my father, so I did. But of course, the person who opened the door wasn't my father. It was my mother. As I watched her flesh blacken and melt as I heard her scream, and I broke into hysterics, I heard the adversary laugh. And at that moment, I realized that it was laughing at me. Yeah, I'm trying to be more predictable. Thanks, we're almost to the end now. Thanks for sticking with me. It was like a lever had been pulled. All at once, the bubble popped. I wasn't a powerful servant of the adversary. I was not Harrow's #1 girl. I was a ridiculous little fool who willingly tied her soul to the worst thing in existence. Realizing all of this was one thing, actually fixing it was something else. I knew that I had to get away from Harrow. That was the first thing to do, so I bit my lip and did my best to ignore the happy babble of the new recruits on the trip back to Forrestal, and I managed to get through the ride without screaming. Once we were back at the commune, I broke into Harrow's safe, stole all of the commune's resources, and ran. I don't know when Harrow realized what I'd done, or whether he even cared. All I know is that nobody came after me, so I kept running and running until I got to Berlin. Getting past the wall was fairly simple. You know how easy it is to obtain falsified papers. The biggest obstacle that I faced during my flight was the adversary itself. I could run from Harrow, but how do you run from something that's tied to your own soul? Yo. Let me get snip snip? Yo, I do want to say it, but nah. Feel that. The haunted look in Glory's eyes is heartbreaking. She gives you another grim nod. I walked into the office the first street doc I could find, pointed at all the biggest, bulkiest pieces of cyberware that he had on display, and told him to put him into me. He tried to upsell me on better merchandise, arguing that what I was asking for was old and inefficient, better suited to be installed in a museum than in a body. He told me that I'd be shredding my essence, and that once it was gone, I'd never be able to get it back. I stuck to my guns. After all, shredding my essence was the whole point. Glory looks up at you. Her eyes are sunken and hollow, and the aura of loss around her is palpable. She looks like a woman who has been through hell. That's all for now, Skirmer. You've heard the tale. You know why I am the way I am. You know the things I've done and how much I have to atone for. If you still want my company, fine. But if I lost your friendship, I understand that too. But for now, I need to be alone. Alright, next quest side quest incoming, I guess. Let's see if there's any new jobs waiting for us. Oh wow, 3 new messages. Alright, salvage DVD. We got another one. Oi, Skirmer. Just wanted to tell you I've met with limited success in working on that stack of DVDs. It's a thorny problem, but at least I'm making some headway. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you will find another recovered disc. I wasn't able to salvage all the files on it, but I think you might want to find what I did recover to be of interest. For my part, I'm going to continue working on the other DVDs. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't hold out much hope though. They're all badly damaged, and suffering from disrupt besides. I'll be in touch. My best to you and your team. She's nice. Still alive. Oh hey, Jaina. Guess I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me, but at least I'm still breathing. The lodge turned me into a killer scarecrow. That gnaws at my guts every minute of every day, and I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people, died because of what I did. You know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know, maybe this doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all. You kill people all the time. Just another day at the office, huh? Well, I'm not like you. I can't just kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living at all. That's what I keep telling myself. And so I figured I might as well tell it to you too. Damn, poor Jane. There we go. King of the Cram Heaven. Hey, wow, that's nice. They send you emails about you claim payment. Excellent. You're a credit to your profession. Now I will not hesitate to hire you again. You know, upvote me on Yelp or I don't know. What's a professional? I don't know. Glassdoor, I guess. I don't know what the rate companies would be. Okay, we are almost. How's Alice Fun doing? 28K. Okay. Massacre. Wow. Save the F state, huh? No more trolling on still the internet's still the internet in the future, I guess. Let's see what's on that DVD. Oh, goddamn. So weird. Third DVD, right? Yep, play track 1. I was thinking about Adrian today. Not as he was when he disappeared. Not as the fabled Dragon Slayer or the big-time CEO of Deal Defense. I was thinking about when we were kids. Now we're gonna get backstory on Adrian. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me. In a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us to the island of Pole to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old. Adrian was 20. It'd be his last family vacation with us. A year later, he'd begin his meteoric rise to fame and fortune. But on this trip, he was my brother. And when I fell out of the little paddle boat that our parents rented, starting sinking fast into the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. Saved my life that day, Adrian. I'll love you forever for that. Yet I will find you. I owe you that much. Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Das Fiennes, one of those cheap print-based mags that they produce for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in there, but it's good to see someone else acknowledge its existence. Loftweir's hostile takeover. Disappeared. So there you have it. That's what they had to say about Adrian a mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother, the Footman. Corrupted. Oh, here we go. Dr. Vauclair, it is my sad duty to inform you that by unanimous vote of the Aufsichtsrat, your position as CEO of Deal Defense will be terminated at the end of this calendar month. Your continued misallocation of company funds to pursue personal agendas cannot and will not be tolerated any further. The supervisory board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma that you endured during your pursuit of the dragon first wish must have been enormous. But your continuing obsession with the dragon, the dead dragon I might add, has proved a negative influence on this company and an unjustified drain on company resources. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We have provided a generous severance package to assist you in this time of transition. If there's anything more we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so they drove him out because he was obsessed with First Wind. Did he like secretly set up some kind of anti-dragon company? Because he did have a lot of money, right? And he was using company money to fund whatever the hell he was doing. I have news. Someone's hunting us. They set up an ambush on the U-boat. Amso pauses and then gives a curt nod. Truth be told, I had been expecting something like this might happen. I'm just glad you made it out alive. Alright, give him the encrypted PDA. Sure. A few moments later, he lets out a groan of dismay. Sorry, I was able to recover a file, but unfortunately, that's all I'll ever be able to pull off this thing. All that anyone will, truth be told. It must have been running some kind of counter-intrusion software. The instant I gained access, it bricked itself. Amsel disconnects the useless PDA and drops it to the ground. It clatters to a rest on the metal floor. What did you manage to pull off of it? A comm file. The audio is all there, but it looks like we've only got video from one side of the conversation. Let's see what we have. He opens the file and a nightmarishly familiar face appears on the screen. It's the orc, isn't it? Yep. Bachmeier. Aldrin here. What's your status? Bachmeier's image is gargled, but his voice sounds young and eager. Target acquired, sir. You were right. We spotted him on the U-boat, just like you said. Probably on his way to a job. As per your instruction, we're going to try to take him out on his way back. He'll be more vulnerable that way. Hopefully injured and low on animal too, but only time will tell. Good man. Proceed as instructed. Will do. Costman is rigging up an ambush spot right now. We'll try to make it quick. Send me a comm when the job is done. Aldrin out. Well, we know his name. Well, our scarred friend makes an appearance. Skirmer, I believe that Green Winters' predictions are coming true. I believe their first Wind is behind all this. Under Amsel's patient exterior, you can feel worry that's eating at him. Be on your guard, you and the rest of the team. You made it through this attack relatively unscathed, but next time you might not so lucky. As we now have a name to put on the face, Aldrin. That's not all we have. As I was saying when you first walked in, I have been productive as well. I was able to uncover some new evidence in your absence, and coincidentally enough, that evidence pertains to our scarred friend. You might recall that I said I'd dig into Aldrin's skin grafts. Well, I did, and that search has finally borne fruit. One of my contacts outside of Berlin handles the paperwork for private hospitals all across Germany. It's a dull, boring job, but it does have its perks. Amsel opens a file on his computer. A medical chart opens up on the screen. As it turns out, our scarred friend's skin grafts were performed at a legitimate hospital after all. What did they say? Well, they're rather light on identifying information. Our friend's name is listed as Max Musterman, the local equivalent of John Doe, but they do cover his injuries in great detail. Aldrin's injuries were extensive. He had 2 broken ribs and a shattered pelvis, and he sustained 3rd-degree burns over 60% of his body. Most damning of all, he was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. His body has absorbed over 5,000 millisieverts of ionizing radiation, a lethal dose without treatment. The information dries up at this point. We know that he was treated and discharged, but what happened afterwards remains a mystery. Your thoughts? Hold nothing back. I'd like to hear everything coming from the mind. Aldrin might have spent some time in the SOX. That radiation poisoning didn't happen on its own. Agreed. 5,000 millisieverts is a lot of exposure. Sort of basking in the glow of an unshielded reactor. I don't know how he absorbed that much ionizing radiation without spending time in the SOX. Alright, so Aldrin was heavily irradiated, most likely from time spent in the SOX. What else does it tell you? Those burns sound like dragon fire, but if the dragon wing fire wing burned Aldrin, why would we be working for her now? I don't think that Aldrin is working for the fire wing. I believe he is serving her. On Green Winter's 2nd DVD, he mentions there is a cult within the SOX that worships the fire. The Disciples of the Cleansing Fire. Cleaning Fire. I believe that Aldrin belongs to this cult. Okay. There's nothing more dangerous than zealot. My thoughts exactly. A hireling can sometimes be bribed or reasoned with. A pawn can be liberated. But if the Fire Wing soldiers look upon her as a goddess figure, nothing short of killing her will deter them. And even that might not stop them. So it is possible that Aldrin is a dragon cultist. This seems to fit with much of the other information that we've uncovered. Any other red flags? Hospital couldn't ID him. Either someone covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. Indeed, if Aldrin was a denizen of the SOX, a glowpunk, his lack of identifying information would make sense. It's a working theory at any rate. So to sum up, Aldrin probably spent time in the SOX. It's possible he even lived there, as a member of First Winch's Dragon Cult, and he is after you. In my mind, all this reinforces one fact. We need to find Vauclair, and we need to do it fast. Great. Oh, as luck would have it, Frau Mueller has arrived. Best of luck at the meeting. Remember, this is urgent. We need that money. Damn, I need that money to save the world, man. Gotta make that cash. Well, he did say half an hour. Can I do something else before? Okay. Well, I guess we should just meet with her to... I'll probably call it at the end of that. We've been... Don't want every episode is to be 2 hours. Hey! Hang out in an abandoned park. No problem. Oh, set against the frozen cobblestones of the empty park. Frau Mueller looks entirely out of place. She suppresses a shiver and hugs herself for warmth. She appears as Amsel described her, an impressive-looking woman of Estlander descent, with coffee-colored skin and dark wavy hair. Everything about her screams corporate executive, from her expensive-looking suit to her tastefully understated makeup. She's obviously nervous, but she's hiding it well. She locks eyes with you, hesitates only slightly before speaking. Skirmer, I presume? Harry Amsel told me I could meet you here. He wasn't lying. He said you had a job for me. Yes, I do. In truth, I'm in desperate need of your help. She offers you a small smile. Assume name, obviously, but I've been told that it's how you people do business. She straightens in her seat and tries on a smile. Hangs there for a second, then fades away. From my accent, you've no doubt inferred I am Estlander. Further, you may have guessed who I work for. You tell me, I'm not in the business of guessing. As Technology, the only Estland-based corporation operating in Germany. I've been with the company for over a decade. Over the course of my employment, I've worked on a great many projects. From the innocuous to the obscene, my hands have touched it all. Never once did I question the wisdom of my research. Never once did I consider blowing the whistle on my employers. I kept my nose down, worked hard, and excelled at the tasks set before me. Come on, please. Last month, I was transferred here from my home in Tenochtitlan. They told me that an employee of my caliber was needed in Berlin, and that I would be working on a project with wide-reaching applications. The only other details given was the name of the project, Bloodline. That doesn't sound good. She looks you in the eye, and for the first time you can see cracks in her composure. She was doing a good job of hiding it, but deep down this woman is terrified. I've seen many terrible things in my life, Skirmer. In Tenochtitlan, blood magic is commonplace. Take a moment to imagine what that means. In the underground markets, people are bought and sold as chattel. Street children are rounded up and bled like lambs. I witnessed all of these things by the age of 12. She takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly. Seeing such things, it changes you, makes you numb. But what I found when I arrived here was worse. This project, it horrifies me, sir, and it must be stopped. Alright, tell me what you know. The less you know, the better, for both of us. She shakes her head. You'll just have to trust me on that. You only need to know that it is evil, and that is not a word I use lately. You have to understand, Frau Mueller, I can't accept the job without knowing what it entails. Of course not. Your job will be relatively simple. I want you to bring the building down. The scientists, the research data, the mages and scientists that are working to bring about this abomination. I want all of them burned to ash and buried in rubble. No compromises and no exceptions. Her tone softens. I'm sure that you have unanswered questions. I'm not in the habit of dealing with Shadowrunners. In truth, I spent the majority of my career living in fear of you people. But I do know you're the only ones who can get this done. So tell me, is there anything more you need to hear from me, or are you ready to make a decision? What about any innocent people in the building? None of us are innocent. But if you need to salve your conscience, rest assured that at the hour of your approach, the only personnel authorized to be on site will be security and senior members of the research team. And I assure you, neither are innocent in this matter. If the Bloodline project reaches completion, no one will be safe ever again. Oh, this is, well, quote-unquote far-reaching, right? Oh, front up a little bit. God damn it. Still well, I'm gonna do the Blitz's loyalty mission after this instead of the main one, because I want to just get through it as fast as possible. Sounds like hyperbole, I know, but it isn't. The Bloodline project will lead to countless deaths. I am certain enough of this to hire you, despite the fact that doing so will probably cost me my own life. What can you talk about building security? Expected to be tight. In addition to their standard security team, As Technology has taken out a Knight Errant's high threat response team contract to protect the building. Corporate doesn't seem to mind contracting a competitor for emergency response services. That should give you some indication as to the uniqueness of this project. At any rate, I believe I come up with a solution to the Knight Errant problem. I'll discuss the matter with your Herr Amsel if you decide to take the job. I'm not a demolitions expert. How do you expect me to level a building? You don't need to. All that you'll need is a competent decker. The facility is powered by a number of on-site generators. There are safeguards in place to prevent them from overloading. In the event of a power spike, the system is designed to shut itself down. But I know how you can disable those safeguards. Once the generators begin to overload, you'll have limited time to reach a safe distance. The explosion will be quite catastrophic. Staunch compensation. 36,000 new yen. That's fair. Why couldn't you tell them all? No. I had to meet you in person, to look into your eyes and see the man behind the name. Now that I have done so, I'm sure you are the one that I need. Okay, I've reached a decision. Sure, we'll take the job. Her face visibly brightens. In that case, it's a deal. I can't tell you how relieved I am. Thank you for helping me bring this nightmare to an end. I will iron out the remaining details of your Herr Amsel. You'll want to talk this over with you anyway, I'm sure. You're a good man, and you're saving more lives than you know. Is this a King Ares situation? Let's go back and talk to Paul. And probably end it, because we are running up on 2 hours. Let's go talk to Paul. Alright, accepting the job. What do we do? Yes, a few. From Mueller has provided us with detailed information on the facility. I vetted the information and it seems to hold up. Based on this intel, I formulated what I believe will be an effective strategy to bring down the building. According to Mueller's intel, the facility is extraordinarily well guarded. Whatever this Bloodline project is, the Azis have spared no expense to defend it. The facility is patrolled by As Technology's internal security personnel. On their own, they will pose a challenge, but I don't doubt you could brute force your way through them. Unfortunately, they will not be there on their own, as Technology has purchased one of Knight Errant's more expensive security contracts as an additional line of defense. So kicking in the front door is out? I would say so. I've pulled some strings with an old contact of mine. He's provided me with the address of a small software developer, OTK International. They write the firmware updates for Knight Errant's comm systems, and their defenses should be considerably weaker than As Technology's. My contact has informed me that OTK stores an off-site hard copy of every firmware update it develops for data security purposes. My suggestion is this. You hit the offices of OTK International and reduce their computers to slag. In the interim, I will have the hard copy of their next update replaced with a compromised version. When OTK's next update goes live, our compromised version will be pushed out to Knight Errant. When you hit the As Technology facility, I'll be able to track Knight Errant via their comm links. This should make the run much more manageable. He fishes in his pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a corporate ID with your face on it. This will get you through the front door of the office park that contains OTK International. My contact was only able to provide me with the one card, so you'll need to let the rest of your team in through the side door. Alright, sounds like a plan. Alright, we're good. Man, more missions. Well, there's at least 2 more loyalty missions, one for Iger and one for Glory. So we're probably halfway through the game, I'm thinking. Most of the side quests are. Alright, I'll call it here. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.